enthusiasm from a mile off. You are so bright. I could have taken you for an opera singer in full falsetto.
Farina, you're finally here! I hate all this overthinking.
Thank you. I am just as thrilled to be here as you are to have me. More seriously, I'm not the star this time. That's you two, alongside all the creators sharing their passion for film with the world. Honestly, when I was first asked to approve the plans, I thought this would just be a small event. I never imagined that the Cheval Moran Film Fantasyland would expand to this scale so quickly.
Yeah! Thinking back to when we first
At this rate, who knows? Someday it could become as iconic as the Fontanalia Film Festival itself. And we have the two of you to credit for much of it. I've suggested to several renowned directors that we award you the title Pioneers of the Film Industry. In contrast to the Farina Award, which is more of a public honor, this title is a mark of true recognition from within the industry itself, a reflection of both outstanding achievement and hard work.
Wow, even you're getting serious now.
Come now, no need for any of that. Just relax and enjoy the moment. Speaking of which, I've actually been preparing a little survey. How about we randomly select some visitors to give us feedback about the park?
Did Clayman hear that right? Farina carrying out a customer satisfaction survey?
Well, given that it bears the name of my dear friend Surintendant Cheval Moran, isn't it only natural that I conduct a bit of research on her behalf? Besides, the more famous a star becomes, the more important it is to stay in touch. Plus, it's amazing how much you learn just by listening to other people's take on films.
Assume celebrities just get their assistants to handle everything for them. But it sounds like it's actually pretty hard work. Then again, maybe Farina's just an outlier.
If the Arataki gang stirs up any trouble, I'll drag every...
we are, all set to go. Now, let's take a stroll nearby and randomly pick out some visitors to ask a few key questions.
These suggestions are surprisingly detailed. Choosing film prototypes, recreating the scene cutting process, budget management for costumes, makeup, and set design? Oh, Paimon's head is spinning. Why is everyone so professional? Also, nearly every single person we spoke to said they wanted to see Lady Farina perform. Your popularity is off the charts!
To tell you the truth, I've no plans to perform this time around. Any star worth their salt knows their role. When I take center stage, all the spotlights are on me, and rightly so. But as a guest, I should step back and let others shine. So, instead of performing myself, I prefer to support you from behind the scenes. Perhaps as a consultant for one of your attractions?
Hey, that's right! Movie Masterpieces is all about film expertise. There really would be no better candidate than you!
Wonderful! Then I shall give this role my very heart and soul. Once I've had a moment to prepare, we can meet up for a slice of gâteau from my pâtissière suprême before we get started. you are willing to put in the time, if you study it.
Follow the wind.
doing something similar. A brand consultant has been filming my training sessions with students and incorporating them into films about Fontanian cuisine.
Oh, no. No. A documentary. documentary won't do. I'm talking about something with a bit more drama.
Before you finalize it, please let me review the coloring terms, especially when it comes to how ingredients are handled.
Great! It's settled then. And actually, I think I'd like to bring in the Traveler and Paimon as directors. Something
No problem! That said, now that we've been granted Director Farina's approval, we'll really have to step up our game.